Trap Media. Shout out Southern T Boxing. Uh, so my boy Skinny, he just did a video and he was kind of busting down his perspective of what he felt like was going on. Make sure y'all go over and check that video out. Now, I disagree. I think the using the public tactic is on, but I think in Bob's perspective, it's not really that they were beefing behind the scenes on Bob's end. I think they were beef. Bud and Bob Arum, top ranked CEO promoter, they were beefing behind the scenes because they not. I'm not saying what Bud is not worth, but based on sales, based on the market, they had overpaid Bud and gave him too high of a guarantee, and they weren't getting a return. So this is where you get Bob lashing out because he's not getting a return. Now I've been in a similar situation in the trucking field where I had a guarantee. Me team driving, we had a guarantee, and we got a choice where we could on the original contract we got a choice where we could do short work, and then sometimes on the short work when you running wild you might not even go out, but we still get this guarantee as long as we show up, or we can run the Cali. Now, what's the no-brainer? Working smarter, not harder. We're going to choose the short work every time instead of going to Cali because work smarter, not harder. Same thing with Bud. In boxing, he has a guarantee, because we were still getting our guarantee, and the same thing with Bud. He's still getting his guarantee. So instead of, he can come out, talk crazy about these other fighters and all that. But at the end of the day, he's going to choose the short work because it's just easier work. Boxing is a dangerous sport, and we glorify rings and sports and championships and all that. But at the end of the day, if your family is fed, in a lot of people's perspective, that's all that really matters. He can take care of all of his family with this high guarantee, and he just negotiated well to get a guarantee like this, and this would keep him from going. So you're like, why wouldn't he sign with PBC? Because he's clearly based on actions, more about security for him and security for his family financially. And if you can do that, taking as least risk as possible, and we're thinking from a business sense, that makes sense. Not from a fan perspective, wanting to see the best fights and all that. Strictly from a business sense and strictly from a provider's sense. He's already accomplished as far as doing something that most fighters never done, and undisputed in the lower weight classes. So at this point, he can just kick his feet up and collect the check. So I think Bob's tactic was to throw these fights out there, like when he did the interview saying he would make the Sean Porter fight, or he would mention other top fighters out there, and he kind of felt like if the fans got riled up, that maybe they would push Bud to take these bigger fights because they know they already gave him a guarantee and a contract. So regardless of whatever, they have to give him this guarantee, even though they not getting their return on their money. So the only way they can kind of pressure him into these certain type of fights is if he got out there in the media. And that's why you would see him lashing like, "Oh, I'm not getting this money, this and that. I try to get him to fight Ugas, he doesn't want to do it. I try to get him to fight Porter, he doesn't want to do it. I try to get him." So I think that's why you got that. So I think we kind of see a similar tactic, but I just think on the reasoning of using the public tactic is where we differ. I think Bob is just upset because he's getting a guarantee, like how we was choosing just to do the running wild and staying as close as possible to home instead of going to Cali. Bud is doing the same thing because he's just gonna get his guarantee, get his money, take the light work, and go home. And Bob, after a while, and the networks after a while putting that pressure on Bob, wanted him to take more of a risk so they can get, if they break even, cool. You know, if they get a little over, cool, but they don't want to be as up under as they were with Postal and up under as they were with Amir Khan. So that's my take on the Bud Bob situation. It was more of a situation where, you know, they may have overspent, and the tension came because they wanted to put him in there with competition that would draw more of a more of a return. So Trap Media, shout out to everybody for tuning in.